Last win in April, Eric Bahelli.
Yep.
Really pleased with that win. It was a good knockout.
Yeah. Very happy with the fight. It's just the fact that obviously with the cut, I had to sort of rush it a little bit. So it was supposed to be a 12-round fight. So here I was sort of planning the fight out, going nice and slow, and then the cut was in the 3rd round, I believe. So I had to pretty much step it up in the 4th. The ref sort of pulled me aside and said, "Well, I'll give it to the end of the round before we stop it." So yeah, just stepped it up and sort of put it on him and got the win. So
did you feel under pressure when the referee said that you really had to go for the knockout?
At the end of the 3rd, I sat down in the corner, and the corner, obviously trying to keep me calm, just said, "No, it's fine, don't worry about it." So it wasn't coming into my eye, so because it was coming to the side, I didn't realise as bad as it actually was. So here I am sort of sitting there thinking, okay, everything's fine, but it really wasn't, sort of thing. So the corner just said, "Listen, it's probably a bad cut, step it up." I would have done so, but I've come out for the 4th just nice and relaxed as I was normally, and yeah, it wasn't until the ref said, "We'll give it to the end of the round," that I thought I got to sort of finish it. Yeah.
Are you the sort of boxer who likes to watch your fights over and over, or you just watch it once, or you don't watch them at all?
Depends. I like watching myself perform, of course. You pick little things up, where your feet are in this particular instance and things like that, or obviously what the opponent was doing when I did land something, stuff like that. Like I learn more by watching, and whether that's myself or others and stuff like that as well. So I'm very much a watching sort of person. So I do watch quite a bit. Yeah.
So do you see the improvement? Other people have been watching you, have seen the improvement, particularly over the last 12 months. Had you sort of stepped the level up of opponents?
Definitely, yeah.
Are you seeing the improvement yourself?
Slowly but surely. There are a few things that I don't like. I'm sort of a bit more stagnant. I'm a bit more sort of just stand there in front of people now, where before I was had a little bit more movement, stuff like that. Working on that with Jeff at the moment in terms of head movement and obviously like just core stability and things like that. So hopefully with this next fight shows a little bit more improvement and in the direction I want to head as well.
So 1st of August, back to the UK.
Yes.
Andriy Rudenko. Now, what can you tell us about him?
Pretty much all what I've seen on YouTube is before he had an injury. I think it was his Achilles tendon. He was about to fight Derek Chisora, and that was for the European title. So he's definitely like up there in terms of quality and everything else. He's 24-0. I'm 20-0. So it's a nice fight in terms of on paper and everything else. Very much a Klitschko sort of style fighter, just not as big. So I'm happy about that, obviously. I think he's about 6'1", but yeah, just basically comes forward like the Russian sort of style fighters come forward, nice strong jab, 1-2s, all that sort of stuff. So it'd be good for me to test out what I've been doing. He likes coming forward, so it'll be good to test out my defence at the same time. So yeah.
How do you find fighting in the UK? Have you been enjoying that, or just been enjoying getting the good fights?
It's one of those things. I've been quite a few countries around the world. I don't actually get to see too much while I'm there because prior to the fight I'm obviously in my fight mode and everything else, and then generally if I fight, for example, the Saturday night, I'm on the plane on the Sunday, so I don't see much after. But in regards to the fans and everything else, there's probably more fans over there than there is here, obviously due to more people. But always been welcomed with open arms over there, so it's been great.
Now, what's it like having Ricky Hatton open some doors for you over there and help you with your career?
It's been excellent. Obviously, he's the type of person who, like Jeff, everyone knows and everyone respects everything else.
That's it! That's it, Lucas! About 6 months ago, I watched Lucas on tape with a friend of mine, Rob Fogarty, and I asked Rob if he knew Lucas, if there's any way we could get in contact with him, and we got in contact, and it was just a slow transition, but we finally got together, and over the last month I think that he's improved more than anybody I've ever coached. He's an amazing guy to coach. He's a hard worker, and I just what I wanted him to do was not throw one punch. He's got amazing power. I just want to make sure that he knows that if he punches somebody once, to be in a position to punch him and punch him and punch him, and with that skill and that technique, I don't think there's a heavyweight in the world who can beat him. I'm very, very confident that we're going to have an Australian world champion in the next year or so. Rob, I'll make him after that, make him hook, so learn to step. Yep. After that.
Okay, so this next fight with Rudenko, I believe you also have the WBA Intercontinental belt.
Yes.
At stake as well.
Yes.
Is that something that you're building up to maybe towards get yourself top 10 ranked in the WBA and maybe get a fight with the new champion, Ruslan
Yeah.
Shagayev? Is that
100%. Or but basically, it's just rankings in general. I'll be defending also the WBC belt, the European Pacific belt. So that will get my rankings up in the WBC as well as the WBA. So I'm 8 WBC, 9 IBF, and 13 I think it is in the WBA. So as long as I keep rising in everything, well, why not? Yeah.
And would you like to go straight to the top with a Vladimir Klitschko, or you want to build yourself up over the next 12 months? What's the way? Where do you see yourself going in that sort of?
There's two sides to that. Obviously, I want to get paid. So if the money's there for a fight now, I'll take it 100%. The smart decision would be at least have another sort of 5-6 fights to sort of continue learning and fitness and everything else, and obviously the exposure as well. You want people to be able to pay for it or want to see me fight for it. So I need the exposure, that's where Ricky comes into it, which is great. So I would take it, yes, if it was there, but I'd rather have at least 5-6 more fights here.
We saw Alex Leapai obviously against Vladimir Klitschko, and I think that highlighted to a lot of people, the skills involved. And people who don't really understand the sport, they don't understand how important the skills are. And I guess that's something you're concentrating on now, working with Jeff.
Unfortunately, it was a inevitable sort of conclusion, that one. The way Alex fights, the way Klitschko fights, it was just going to happen. Klitschko is very tall, he uses his jab well. Alex is the shorter fighter and doesn't really use the jab at all. So it was always Klitschko's fight, that one. I'm a little bit taller, I'm a little bit different style. I think I hit a lot harder, so I'd have a lot more more tools to go up against Klitschko in that regard. So I still think he's the man. Obviously, he's proven it over the years. But I think with the power, I think I have something that sort of brings something different to the table at the same time.
Okay, just to finish, 1st of August, Andriy Rudenko, what have you got to do to be at your best?
I think fitness. Fitness is the main thing for me. If I can go 12 rounds, I'm fine. I've got the power to knock anyone out. Little things we're working on now in terms of body rips and head movements and core, stuff like that. But as I said, with fitness, I think if that's there 100%, I've got no problem.
Thanks for your time, Lucas Browne, and all Australian boxing fans. I'm wishing you the best for the 1st of August.
Thank you very much.
Have another win.
Awesome. Thank you.